So you'll be surprised. Sorry, I do that all the time. I don't mean to be like, so. You will be surprised how quickly 3 a.m. approaches. It's very disappointing and super heartbreaking when your alarm goes off and you're literally like, oh my gosh, I'm in Disney World, I'm about to run a race, freaking out. So anyways, by the time that I woke up, it took me about an hour to do my makeup. It was pretty simplistic, just some eyeshadow, mascara, just really basic, Bare Minerals powder. That was pretty much it. But I wanted to look nice because there's tons of pictures along the way. Take your time, do some makeup. It's worth it. You want to look your best as you can, I should say, for running a race, because there's tons of photographers everywhere. So make sure you put on some makeup. I was down at the bus stop both mornings. This morning, Donald Duck Half and Mickey Marathon at 4 a.m. I've heard of people arriving a little bit after. I was listening to a podcast recently and they said they got down there at about 4:15. I would be too freaked out to start at that time, but that's what they did and it worked out just fine for them. But I think she said it was like a ghost town, so they were probably the last people on the bus, which would freak me out. But as long as you're getting on a bus, the bus will make sure. The roads close down by a certain time in the morning, so it's super important to catch those buses, because if you miss it and the roads close, you're kind of SOL. So be at your bus stop by 4 a.m. That's my recommendation. The bus drops you off at Epcot's parking lot. You're kind of all turned around because it's pitch black out when you're driving on all the Disney highways. So I didn't really even know where the heck I was going, especially being my first Disney race ever. So I was kind of all turned around, but I knew it was Epcot's parking lot because the ball was lit up and it looked simply gorgeous. I do want to tell you that I drank 1 cup of coffee and I had a banana and I think a diet bar, but I ate them slowly. Like, ate the banana on the way there. The diet bar was in my pocket, so I kind of ate on that probably 45 minutes later. Obviously I had my goo packs that I was ready to take right before the race started, or take one of them right before the race started. So I had all that stuff, but I did eat a little something and I drank a little something. And so it was super duper chilly. Make sure you bring, I'm telling you again, make sure you bring something to wear around you that you can throw off, because it's stinking butt cold. I was in Corral H. I loved it. Right in the smack dab middle. Perfect kind of pace, speed for me. I loved it. If you want to get a decent corral, you need to make sure that you email Run Disney before it's sometime in October for the Walt Disney World races. You have to send them a proof of time from a race you've run, obviously a half marathon or higher, and what you finished the race in. They will not accept any late stuff. Get it in by October. Set an email reminder in your phone. I don't remember. I think they send you an email reminder as well saying, hey, this is impending, coming up. Make sure you do it. You won't regret it, trust me, especially if you want to get a decent time and not be stuck, because towards the back, you start to run into people that speed walk this thing. So you don't want to spend all your energy zigzagging by trying to get away from all these runners. Make sure you sign up for corral placement. Super important. Okay, so the course. I'm just trying to think back in my head. Okay, so the first 5 miles, 5.5 miles, you're on highway. It isn't too bad. It's like the flattest ground ever, so it's super comfortable to run on. I had no issues running on it. I think there's 1 or 2 characters along that first 5.5 miles, maybe 3. As you get closer, there are characters. I remember seeing a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, and that was kind of, I think, to showcase the racetrack that you could rent cars. That is no longer there, but it last on 2015 it was there still at that point. So I think that was just kind of showing, that was kind of an advertisement for the racetrack that you can race cars there. So then you enter Magic Kingdom, and it literally, I have no words. I could get emotional thinking about it. It is the most insane. It's like the sun is just coming up, so you have this pretty like pinks and purples in the sky. It was insane. And then there's music playing, because of course there's music playing. It's like it smelled good outside. And then, not to mention, all on the left-hand side of the entire, when you're running down Main Street, there's tons and tons of people that got into the park to cheer you on. Thousands. Insane. Is one of the biggest and best experiences I've ever had in my entire life. So magical. The whole experience of running down Main Street was so magical. I can't get over it. It literally is something I will remember the rest of my life. It was one of those things that, like, you know, is branded in your brain. This is branded in my brain. insanely amazing, beautiful, stunning, all the above. So as you're running through Magic Kingdom, it's so spectacular. Every ounce of it, the music, everything. There are tons of characters inside Magic Kingdom Park. So whatever one you want to stop at, take your time, enjoy it. Stop at the characters. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the entire experience. You're not paying to go get a good time. And I give people total props if that's what they want to do in Disney World. Just zip on through as quick as they can. To each their own. But for me, I felt like I needed to totally appreciate every moment of me being there. So I literally stopped at like almost every character, and I made sure I got pictures at pretty much almost every mile marker, everything. I wanted to soak every ounce of it. So after you leave Magic Kingdom, you get back kind of on some back roads. You go by the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian, and then you're making your way back towards the highway. So once you get back on the highway, you're on the highway for quite a while. I'd say probably 4 or 5 miles, something like that. Then you can see the monorail, and it was like, oh, we're almost to the end here. I can see the monorail. I'm getting closer to Epcot. So once I got into Epcot, I ran into a small portion of it. You don't get to run through a big portion of Epcot for the half, but you do get to run through a portion of it, and it's really pretty to run through and see as you're looping down by and I know the big ball has a name, and I don't know if it's Mission Earth or what it's called, but it has a name. Once you run down, you kind of run down the side of it, and you go, sorry, my shadow, and you run down the side of it, and then you see a beautiful gospel choir singing for you, and I swear it's like they're singing a hallelujah the entire day, because I heard them singing that, and it was like perfect timing. They're singing this, I'm coming into the finish line, and right around the corner was the finish line for the half, and it was so magical. I mean, it's huge. It's like no finish line I've ever seen in my life. Amazing. So I crossed the finish line. I met my hubby and kids right away afterward, and I was like, I'm tired. I want a coffee and I want to go lay down. So, which makes completely not any sense. But anyways, I had a couple sips of coffee. I laid down. I think we got back to the hotel around 10, laid down till noon. When I got back, they headed out to Hollywood Studios, which is perfect because I had complete silence in their room. While he was entertaining my children, I was able to nap for a couple hours. Got up, and then I headed to Hollywood Studios. I stayed there till about 5 p.m. with my family, and they wanted to continue on and get their money's worth. So while they were enjoying the park, I went back to the Dolphin. I went to Peekaboo, their cafeteria, which I love. Got a sandwich, a banana, and some practical things to eat. I didn't go slam a burger and fries because I knew what I had coming up the next day, and I didn't really want to sit in the porta potty in case that happened. So I didn't eat anything over the top. I was just too freaked out to do that, especially since tomorrow is my big first full marathon ever. So, and then I took a sleep aid, melatonin at about 6 p.m. and then it was sweet dreams for me. And then again, the clock wakes you up at 3 in the morning and you're kind of like, I can't believe I'm gonna do this today.